sizzling steak just off the grill and potatoes fried perfectly crisp. Hungry? How about now? Come on, dig in. Our next experiment is based on a study from Marketing Magazine confirming a deep evolutionary link between food and color. Participants dined on steak and fries served in a specially lit room. When the lighting changed, revealing plates of blue meat and green potatoes, they all began to gag. Can it be that changing the known color of a food is all it takes to change our perception of how it tastes?
We taste first with our eyes. We know that making something look good is going to make somebody like a lot more.
Brian Wansink teaches at Cornell University and is an expert on our visual perceptions of food.
Taste is tremendously subjective. We essentially taste what we think we're going to taste. It's not our taste buds, and it's not the smell that ends up influencing a lot of what goes on. It's our brain. We think something's going to taste great. We're going to look for those characteristics that make it great.
At a diner serving the things we've all grown up with, Wansink intends to prove that how we enjoy our food depends on how we look at it. To test his theory, we've asked random subjects to join us for taste testing.
Well, grab a seat here. Sure.
We believe that the color of these foods will trump their brain's taste perception.
First thing we're going to be doing, we're going to be giving them some Jell-O to taste. Now, right here we have kind of raspberry or cherry-looking Jell-O, which actually is lemon. What we suspect is that simply seeing that red is going to make people conjure up all sorts of ideas about cherries and raspberries and things like this, and actually taste what they see.
Seeing red, these people expect the Jell-O flavor will be berry. So they should react as soon as the lemon flavor hits their taste buds, right?
How would you describe the taste?
Really sweet, like cherry flavored.
It's not watermelon, is it?
This one's cherry.
How do you describe that flavor?
Kind of like either a berry or cherry.
The eyes have it, and the tongues are lagging. Regardless of the real taste, red coloring made every customer believe that they were tasting cherry or berry. How can this be? Here's some food for thought. We owe our sense of taste to this part of the brain, the visual cortex, in our occipital lobe. This area, where sight and color receptors are found, evolved eons ago into our greatest judge of taste. Why? Survival. Color tells us if food is ripe or rancid, healthy or harmful. In fact, we only eat things that our visual cortex recognizes and approves. Let's see how that defense mechanism kicks in when our unsuspecting patrons encounter a perfectly wholesome drink that's been made to look like something drained from a wound.
Let's take a look at milk. Two exact same versions of milk, except this one has a little bit of food coloring in it.
Green milk. It tastes fine, but looks like a chemical drive-through shake on St. Patrick's Day. How will our subjects react?
Not what I was expecting.
Real milk. Here you go.
Are you kidding? What is that? Is that like
milk.
chicken milk? What is this? Really? Okay, it doesn't smell as bad as it looks, but I don't want to drink that.
Okay. Doesn't look like milk.
This is like what an alien would be telling me that milk looks like. Yeah, I'd probably tell him I was full.
At first, every subject refused to take a sip. Even after Brian confirmed it was just regular milk.
I promise won't hurt you. All right.
Finally, he convinces them to give it a try.
Really taste it?
Bottoms up.
You'll live, I promise.
It tastes like milk, but it's still disgusting me just because of the color.
It just doesn't feel right. I feel my mouth wanting to reject it before it even gets in there. I mean, there's like an aftertaste to it.
This experiment just proved that we taste with our eyes.
If something was spoiling, it looks a little bit strange, that perception still are tremendous drivers of whether we're going to like a food or we're not.
This experiment got us thinking. If we can make people dislike a drink just by changing its color, how far can we manipulate what the brain loves and hates? In other words, if we change the packaging, can a box of bottom shelf wine be sold as a top shelf bottle of red?
Wow, that tastes good.
And later,
Why is it you worry so much? What are you worried about?
hidden cameras reveal how our body language gives away our deepest secrets. So you walk into a diner and the hostess gives you two menus. Riddle me this. Which would you order? Jamon croquettes or ham and cheese poppers? North Atlantic cod or fish fillet? You've already seen how we're influenced by color, but presentation also has a major impact on our choices. A 6-week cafeteria study found that vivid labels increase sales and influence a customer's opinion about the quality of the food. And it's not just restaurant owners that are on to how our brain works. Advertising and marketing agencies are truly masters at manipulating perception.
Marketing plays a big role in our taste, too. Marketers end up using colors and sort of what they put in packaging to make us believe it's going to taste richer or more distinctive than what their competitors are going to do.
Bombarded with choices, how often have you decided on a bottle of wine just because you like the label? Did that wine really taste better to you because the label had an appealing design? Sure it did. And to show the true dominance of our visual cortex, we'll have people belly up to the bar for a wine tasting that turns decidedly sideways. To pull off this experiment, food expert Brian Wansink has created two labels. One looks cheap and is called Red Tooth. The other looks expensive and has a sophisticated French name. The two bottles will be filled with the exact same wine. And to add insult to injury, it's straight from a box. Let's see what happens when Wansink asks the diners to taste the two seemingly different wines.
Got a 2009 bottle of Red Tooth wine.
Okay.
Remember, this label is screaming, "I'm cheap and lousy."
It's kind of bitter.
Oh boy. We'll come back to him in a minute.
What's the most you'd be willing to pay for something like that?
For a bottle of this Red Tooth?
Yeah.
To be honest, probably like $10.
Tastes like kind of bad, pretty stale, pretty flavorless. Not much going on.
They all felt that the Red Tooth was a cheap wine, just as we expected. Now that we've established a baseline for their palates, we bring in the coup de grace, the wine pretending to be from a vineyard in France. Remember, this is the exact same wine that was in the bottle of Red Tooth, and it's all really from a box.
This is the Chateau de Napoleon. It's from Burgundy.
Here I go. Wow, that tastes good.
How do you describe that?
It's very smooth, but it's also complex and aged, cultured, handled with care, if you
Yep.
will. It's just very satisfying.
He's using every technique he's ever seen in a TV movie.
A little bit heavier. It has a nicer palate to it, especially than that last one.
You know, this one's the best of them all.
So compare this
But
one and
this
the first
one, much smoother. Less of an alcohol bitterness to it.
And thanks to the right labeling, our box wine has become this guy's true religion.
Oh my God, that's good. Oh yeah,
How would you describe that?
that's the best wine I've ever tasted.
It's just as Brian suspected. Everyone believed the imposter French wine tasted better. Not because of the actual taste, but because the label made it appear to be something it isn't. And when the truth is revealed, we get some truly vintage responses.
So this is actually the same wine in two different bottles.
No.
Really,
Get out. That cannot be the same one. That was outstanding. This was forgettable.
Oh my God.
So actually, it is about $3.99 a bottle. This is the exact same wine, boxed wine, in bottles with different labels. Why do you think the labels trip you up so much?
Probably the label list on that one looked a lot more expensive looking than this bottle of wine, and that's why I just thought maybe that would taste better.
Coming up, do people reveal themselves without saying a single word?
Did you see where his elbows were out? Something's bothering him.
Let's see how much your body reveals without your knowing it.